Welcome to our home. This is where we live, at least 6 months of the year.
Well, seeing as you're going to invade our privacy, come and have a look. We'll take you around the home.
Yeah, you can see how these are constructed. They call it pole and daga. You can see this, it's poles all the way through. Daga is mud. So mud is stuck between the poles and then plastered on the outside.
Just with clay.
And then this is clay.
Yeah, all of this is clay from termite mounds.
Yeah, and so that's how they do. And so these are different colored clays that they use to make the designs. And after every rainy season, they re-clay the outside and they surprise us with whatever design they want to use. And then, of course, the thatch is all from here. This roof is going to have to be replaced. It wasn't built very well in the beginning, so it'll collapse in another year or so. So they're going to replace it.
Well, the baboons tore this thatch off 3 times when we were thatching this building, so it's not too good. So we'll have to redo it.
Yeah, and then we just use regular doors. I'm the one who insisted on some cement bottoms because just fighting off the termites and the rats, it's just such a chore. It just really helps to have a little bit of cement, so I wanted cement floors and I got them.
Yeah, if we'd been fully traditional, the floor would have been the anthill clay with cow dung, and perfectly all right floor, and that's what I wanted, but Jody wanted cement, so we
Well, the
put it
termites come up through it, but we'll show you some cow dung because our fireplaces are all made of cow dung.
We're in the bedroom now, and our bedroom's very simple, as you see. We sleep under mosquito nets every night, and in the evening we usually cover up with overalls, or I put some shoes on, boots on, just so that we're not bitten, because we live with the mosquitoes all the time, so we don't want to take any prophylactic, knowing how that might affect your body. And we haven't had malaria. I haven't had it for 15 years or more now, and Jody hasn't had it at all. But anyway, the bed's made out of bamboo and metal. We've got shelves under it, so because it's such a small bedroom, and that's it.
Well, but did you notice how cool it is? The beautiful thing about thatch is how cool on the inside. As soon as you step in here, it's cool. It's warmer in the winter because of the thatch, the insulating power. And these walls aren't so bad either.
This is actually our office, and the whole of our home is off electricity. I don't want it. We have just little solar lamps or kerosene lamps that we use. But this, we have some solar panels the other side, charge some batteries so that we can run the computers, phone, anything else. So it's totally solar powered. This is a slightly different construction. It's the same pole and daga, all clay from termite mounds with a fancy design. But here you have big poles on the outside, and these walls do not go right up to the thatch, so that termites can't get into the thatch. This is a common structure in the villages here. So the roof is supported on these poles, and we can watch these poles and see if termites are coming up them, because termites can eat your whole home down here.
Very quickly. But if you can point the camera up. Our telephone is up there. We have a signal, so we have telephone here, and that signal also is a relay to satellite, so that we have internet down here as well.
Okay, here we have the pole on the top of which we have the various antennae for phone, satellite, relay to headquarters, and then it also serves as a lightning conductor. And you notice our home is all separate buildings, not one building, because of the threat of fires, either lightning strikes, which there are many here, or fires in the bush, and that's why there's a burnt zone right around, as a fire protection. My old home used to be like this, and at one time I lost the bedroom. It was satellite, but I didn't lose any of the rest of the home. Well, if a fire gets in, there's one hose pipe that can reach every hut to just keep the roofs wet to prevent it spreading. This is the only place that we have electricity, all coming from the solar power into an array of batteries down here, the controllers here, and that operates our computers, the printer, phones. You can see the various wires that go out to the antennae. So it's a place where we're sort of modern, but all on solar power, and then the rest of the camp, I don't want the electricity. We can be watching baboons, kudu, impala, elephants, various animals, and sometimes I've literally sat here working, look up from the computer, and there's up to 60 head of game or more out there, particularly when we've got water in the river at the time. Yeah. And late in the dry season they'll come in here every day. But you might wonder why we keep it bare around. This is typical of what's done in the communities, how people live, and there's a reason for it, not only for fire control, but if any snakes are moving around, we pick up the tracks immediately, because we get cobras, puff adders, mambas, all of these snakes coming into camp, but you'll know from the tracks. And that's why people traditionally here like to keep it bare around their homes, and we do the same.
This is the bathroom, the nicest room that we have in this place. I just love it because I want you to come inside. You can see there's a very nice bathtub in there, and I think maybe you can see a little bit of it if it's not too dark. But you know, having the running water, you know, that's just one of the luxuries of life. So come on in and have a look. I thought we would have a shower, but Allan loves his baths, and so he said, no, we've just got to have a bathtub. So we got it, and they built it in, and thought they did a pretty good job, you know, in our little mud hut. And so it's wonderful. We can sit down in this bathtub when nobody else is staying with us. We can just look outside and watch the game out the doorway, and it's just wonderful.
We used to use this as a boiler for the hot water for the camp. And of course it meant using firewood all the time and a fire danger, because we can get whirlwinds and so on. And then as solar became more useful, or more lower in price, we moved to a solar plant, which you see over there, a solar heater. Anyway, this is the solar heater that we now have, and it provides quite enough for 2 or 3 baths, even in winter. As a backup, we probably should, for cold, overcast weather, have something else, but we haven't needed to use it. We face a constant problem here of baboons coming and wrecking it. So you'll notice here there's a snake. This is a rubber snake, and we just leave this near here as a deterrent to the baboons, and try and leave it out of the sun, because they'll come and wreck these glass tubes. We've got it oriented, the sun is coming across like that most of the time, and so we slope it this way, face it north, and then it just constantly cycling. I don't fully understand myself how it works, but the water is going through these and back up to here, but by the end of the day, and in fact even after a whole night, you can still have a warm bath.
Okay, this is the kitchen. Initially we thought we'd be cooking in here, so we put in a stove, which we bought from one of the chiefs, found secondhand. And we have a gas refrigerator, a freezer that we use as a refrigerator or freezer. And it's where we store some of our food, or most all of our food. And we've got 2 doors on it. Mostly we don't like doors on here if we don't need to have anything, you know, unless we have to lock something up. But we finally had to put these on here because the monkeys used to come in and they'd jump through this door, grab everything in here, everything in there, and then head out the other door. So we had to put the screens on to stop the monkeys from coming in. But it has running water, sinks. I mean, it's just a wonderful room. I can show you the sinks over here. So we can get our dishes done there, all the cooking utensils under there. Perfect.
We built our home down here on this bank so that we can look at the game under the big trees across the river and so on, and to get away from people. But we do like old friends and certain people staying with us, so we have guest huts like this, a couple of guest huts, and they're very comfortable and simple, and they're either side of the bathroom so that they can get there at night. we do have to warn all guests and give them a flashlight that when they come out at night to go to the bathroom to first look around, because at times there can be lion or elephants right in our home here between the huts. So you just have to be a little bit cautious at night, but otherwise they're perfectly all right. So we have one building. This is our storeroom. We put the vehicles in, anything of value. The guns stay in here, binoculars. So when we're away, one building is totally fireproof. Even if we lost the whole home to fire, we wouldn't lose anything that's in here. So as you see, the door is metal, the whole thing is just stone and asbestos roof, and you can come in and see that this is where we store anything that's... So in here, when we're away, because it's fireproof, the two vehicles stay. I have an old, very old Landwagen, and I have this very old Unimog, Mercedes Unimog. These are one of the most incredible vehicles for the bush. You almost can't get it stuck. It's got a winch. So this we use when we're going to the river, or in the rains. If any vehicles are stuck, this place can get very, very sticky. This is the vehicle to go out and pull anything out. Yeah, we keep the guns in here. The boat is kept in here. And then everything that the rats and the squirrels can eat, because they may get in despite being fireproof, is up on this rack with only wire that rats can't get to it. They can't, and the squirrels can, so we have to constantly trap squirrels. Otherwise they eat things. I mean, that boat, which is an inflatable boat, was very expensive, and before we could even use it, there were big holes eaten in it. The squirrels had gone in and made a nest and chewed the boat.
Okay, so this is the inside, our sitting room on the inside. And as you see, we've got bird nest there, red-headed weaver. And this is where we, in the summertime or the dry season, we have our tea in here in the middle of the day because it's nice and cool and shady. And in the rainy season, this is where we mostly live because it's raining. And this is our fireplace. In the rainy season, it will have a fire in it, but it's all been, looks nice and clean because it's been redone for the dry season. But this is all made of dung and clay. Cow dung and clay by Tulani, who works for us, and it makes a wonderful fireplace. It raises it up just a bit, and we have a nice, I'll show you outside, we have a nice grate that goes on top of the fire, which we use for cooking.
You know, the sitting room really is two pieces. One where we're outside when the weather is good, with a similar fireplace, and one for when the weather's wet or too hot. So the sitting room has two halves to it.
So this is our outside sitting room. As you can see, here's the fireplace again. It's a dung and clay fireplace. And here's with our grate on it. And we do all of our cooking here. And it's beautiful background, as you can see. This is where I can sit and see elephants at night, or late evening, or any kind of game out there. And it's just such a wonderful view. And we've got the birds here. Wonderful.
I was growing a nice fig tree just that side of Jodi, and it had got up about 15 feet or so. And one night when we were in bed, a big bull elephant came right into this part of the sitting room and demolished our fig tree. Roofed the office a while back, and when we came home, the thatchers had very cleverly, as you see, put "Welcome Home" in our thatch roof.